up guys, Manny from Motomillion, and it's time to flash our M1000RR. On the last video, you guys saw me doing all the supporting mods for the flash. What are they? The IAT relocation kit, the intake flapper removal, and our velocity stacks by BrenTuning. And off camera, I applied this heat reflective tape. It just doesn't look pretty, guys. It actually has a purpose. As I said, it reflects the heat away. As you know, or you may not know, the 2023 M1000RRs run quite a bit hot, which is not a BMW thing, but it's not just this bike. I've confirmed with other owners, and also Brendan from BrenTuning confirmed that these bikes run quite a bit hot. He said that flash takes care of that. We're going to see now because we're about to flash this bike. But what we're trying to achieve is trying to keep that air in the air box as cool as possible so that we could make the most power. Also, we installed a Sprint Filter P08 F185 filter on this bike. Now, let's just flash it. Let's pull it outside so that we could run it in the full cycle. So if you see if any check engine lights or anything else comes on. Hopefully the main thing that I'm looking for is the heat, because we already know BrenTuning will take care of the throttle restrictions. In terms of power differences, I'm not gonna go crazy on the streets. We'll leave it for the dyno. We already did some second gear, fourth gear, and fifth gear dyno pulls with the bike stock, and we'll compare those numbers when we go back on the dyno with the flash and all the other mods that we're gonna do. So, enough talking, more working. Let me flash this thing, and then we'll get it out and make some noise. This is pretty straightforward, guys. I'm not going to show you all the steps. We already have a video out there showing you guys how to flash an S1000RR, M1000RR, or the single R variants of this bike. It's all the same in terms of how to flash it. But I'm going to remove this rear cowl. And get to the O2 plug. Flashed, or at least this thing says it's flashed. It's just writing a log file to keep a record of what it did. We could probably see the difference of the startup, because if you guys watch the video when we put the exhaust on, it has that cold start process that it does, that it hangs the revs quite a bit. Hopefully that's going to be gone. I think that's one of the things that we could hear right away. And then obviously when you do the stage 1 or the stage 2 flash, the main benefit you're getting from these bikes on the BMWs is the throttle restrictions are gone. And I'm telling you, you could feel that one-to-one throttle the minute you start revving this bike, even when it's in neutral. And for those who are wondering, we did our stage 2 flash on this bike. There's a whole video of the ultimate BMW exhaust or the upgrades guide that we talk about the flashes and the differences. If you guys want to know in detail if you should get the stage 1 or stage 2, just watch that video. We went with the stage 2 with all of the upgrades that we could do other than the E85, just to make sure we get the most power we can off the bike. Anyhow, let me disconnect this. Let's roll this out and make some noise. Guys, right off the bat, you could even tell if you go watch our exhaust video, the startup is much more improved in terms of the warm-up sequence is not there, so the bike doesn't have that rev hang that it does when it starts off. It's idling butter smooth. I was just waiting for it to get to the full operating temperature so that our fans kick in. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a couple of ignition cycles, meaning I turn the bike off, turn the ignition off, turn it back on, because if there is any fault code, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 ignition cycles for it to show up. And once we've confirmed that everything is okay, When it's standing still idling, we'll pull the bike back in, I'll put the bodywork back on it, and we'll go on our first ride. Whenever I'm working on any kind of machine or bikes, I try to take a look to see where the various parts are made. Even though these bikes say made in Germany, they source parts from all over the world, just like the throttles being from Italy. I believe even the tank is made in Italy. And in the case of the carbon fiber, it looks like BMW switched suppliers. It's made in Thailand now by a company called Cobra Advanced Composites. And this is the case with every single bodywork on it. I'm not sure why the change was made, but it's now made by Cobra Advanced Composites. But also, when you take a look, this cover is the same between the S1000RR and M1000RRs, but from the previous years, the mounting points, the clips, and also some of the foam around it has been changed. So I guess they take in all of the feedback that they receive from the dealers. Maybe it's warranty claims, and they keep improving the parts. This is not the lightest part that's out there, but at least the clips are improved, because if you ever took one of these bikes apart previously, this was kind of annoying to line up with your top tank cover to get it sit flush. Now it's been changed, and it's made by CAC, guys. Guys, when I say this bike runs hot, this is our lower right side panel, and this is the testament to the bike running hot. If you guys saw in previous videos, this bike is fully PPF, meaning paint protection film. I've only seen this on the Ducatis that we've PPF before. Some of the lower panels, the PPF starts burning off because of the heat. And if you take a look, even with the stock exhaust, the PPF is all wrinkled up over here because of the heat that it was subjected to. And trust me, guys, when I say PPF holds up to heat, if there's any Porsche fans watching, the rear bumpers of the Porsches, especially if you track those cars, gets super hot that sometimes the PPF just discolors, but it doesn't even get to those temps that it wrinkles it like this. In this case, it got so hot that it's wrinkled over here. So it goes to show you how hot this thing runs. We're gonna fix it. The bodywork's on. It looks like a 2023 M1000RR minus the seat, which I'm about to put back on the bike. I haven't seen the bike together for a little while now, so I just want to take a glance at it, and there's no denying that this is a very, very beautiful bike. One thing that's missing is the muffler box that used to be here. Some of you guys like the look, but to me, it looks like something is missing there, and I always like to cover them up with a belly pan. That's coming. We don't know exactly when, because when we're filming this, it's the middle of summer. We're in the month of August now. And in Europe, they like to take the month off or a couple weeks in the month off, so things get delayed. Fingers crossed we're gonna get it soon to cover this void that's left here, but let me put the bike down, put the seat on. I really wanna ride it to see what it feels like with the flash, guys. All right, guys, as you see, I'm finally riding our M1000RR with this BrenTuning flash and the supporting mods that we did, and also that aero header and mid-pipe that's on it. Right away, it's much more enjoyable. I don't know if I told you guys, but the quick shifter on this bike works so good. And since this is a stage 2 flash from BrenTuning, it has their best quick shifter mapping on there, because nowadays it's not just the engine mapping that you get from with flashes, it's your quick shifter maps that get upgraded too. But this bike already had an amazing quick shifter to begin with. Now it just feels a lot more crisper. I think the only thing it's missing is that Alpha Racing quick shifter on it. Oh, there you go, guys. That's what I'm talking about. You could hear the bike. Finally. I guess maybe I was a little too cynical with this bike on my first ride because it was so quiet. But now, right away, you know, riding it on the road and getting just that enjoyment out of it, it just needed a little bit of noise. But let me tell you this, just the restrictions of the throttle being gone, it makes a world of difference, guys. So if you're just looking for a stage 1 flash just to get that throttle restriction off, it's going to be the best thing you've done on your bike. In the road mode and see what this bike feels like. Well, since we're in the traffic, I'm going to give you guys my opinion on how it feels in traffic. I think the bike's actually not getting as hot as it used to, so that's a plus, because the bike's not fully warmed up and in with traffic, and it's at least 90 plus degrees here in Miami without humidity. Add the humidity factor and we're probably in the 100 pluses, and it definitely feels cooler, so that's a positive. And currently the only thing that we've done that will change the cooling of the bike is that BrenTuning flash, because those are just the fan temperature, so the fan kicks in at a lower temperature, keeping the bike cooler, and it makes a huge difference. Because on my first ride, I remember it being unbearable hot on my right leg, and right now it's pretty good. So I'm happy to report that the heat issues that you get with the 2023 M1000RR are solved just by the flash, so that's another benefit. And those fan temperatures are set through the stage 1 and stage 2 flash, so if you don't want to do a stage 2 flash, the stage 1 flash will take care of that too. And I guess that's a positive of getting stuck in traffic, that I can verify that the heat is now tolerable. It is hot. I'm wearing full gear, Kevlar pants, boots, airbag wet vest on, my riding jacket, which is a leather jacket, and my gloves, and obviously a helmet. Let's do a little second gear run here just to see. That the throttle restriction is gone, because trust me, when the bike is stopped, when you just roll onto the throttle like that, you realize the bike is not doing what you expect, because obviously when you roll onto the throttle, you expect it to start getting more power and power. On these things, it just lies flat up to 10,000 RPM, and all of a sudden it just opens up. And it feels a little brutal in terms of the power delivery. But now it's smooth and feels a lot quicker too. But I think that's it, guys. So you guys can expect us to do some more supporting mods to deal with some of the heat that we're getting off this bike, even though the flash, I think, took very good care of it. But I think there's some more things that we could do before we put it back on the dyno. But that's my quick little take on how this flash feels. It sounds wonderful with this header and mid pipe with the stock Acura cam that this M1000RR that came with. But if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one.